Alright guys, welcome to another video. Today we will be ranking Superman knockoffs on how well they would do in a fight against David Cornsweat's Superman. So let's get right into it. First off, I picked David Cornsweat's Superman because I thought it would be much more interesting because James Gunn kind of nerfs him a little bit. He's not he's still very strong, but he's not like ridiculously strong. Like he's not stronger than Henry Cavill, Man of Steel's Superman, probably. We don't know yet. We've only seen one movie with him. So let me go over what our sections will be for this tier list. At the very bottom, starting out with they're fucked. So basically, they have literal no chance of doing anything. Then a few good punches. They might be able to get off one or two actual decent punches. But most of the time, they'll be lucky to even get away from David Cornsweat's Superman. And then some actual damage. So they might be able to actually do something. Kind of think like when Immortal fought Omni-Man, even though he got the shit kicked out of him, he was able to hurt him a little bit. And then a good ass fight. So they actually put up a real frickin' fight. And then they fuck. So they clearly beat the hell out of Superman and win. First things I will say, based off of David Cornsweat's portrayal of Superman, his best feats are probably fighting Ultraman and the Engineer at the same time and managing to win. And then the other feat I would say is being poisoned by kryptonite, holding Metamorpho's baby while being chased down by Lex's goons, and then saving Metamorpho, his baby, Krypto, with his freezing breath. All while being poisoned by kryptonite. Those are pretty good feats. I would say those were his two best feats in the movie. Remember that going forward. Our first knockoff is Omni-Man. This one's hard because we've seen Omni-Man destroy cities. He has been a part of destroying a planet as well. He's not strong enough to destroy a planet. Probably not. But him, Mark, and Thaddeus destroyed Viltrum together. Which, I would say that's a bigger feat than we've seen David Cornsweat's Superman. I would say he most likely holds back most of the time. In that entire movie, he probably held back. So it's hard to tell what he could actually do. Omni-Man killed over 2,000 people in his fight against Mark. Now it's whether or not do I think Omni-Man could win against Superman. Comic Superman would absolutely destroy Omni-Man. But I kind of think Omni-Man would put up a good-ass fight against David Cornsweat's Superman. Maybe he's not as strong. We don't really know. But he has a much higher killer instinct. He has way more experience fighting. So I think he would definitely do better than some actual damage. I think he'd put up a good-ass fight. If not, fuck. So we're gonna put him in a good-ass fight. Okay, next up. Homelander. This one's interesting as well, because he is crazy. He is not as strong as Superman at all, though. We don't know what he's going to look like with the V1 yet as I'm recording this. I don't know how strong he's going to be with the V1, but Homelander's best feats are basically just killing Supes. His best feat might be killing A-Train. I mean, we saw him chase after A-Train through the woods. I want to say he was breaking through trees, but trees are not buildings. We've seen him break out of buildings when he had to fight Butcher and Soldier Boy. He got right out of there. I don't think he does much to David Cornsweat's Superman. The only thing I think is he is ready to kill. Cornsweat's Superman is definitely not. So for that reason, I think we put him in a few good punches. The only reason I would say he's not absolutely fucked is because, like I said, he has that killer instinct. I accidentally put two pictures of Homelander. We'll skip that. Alright, next up is my boy All Might. So All Might's greatest feats that we've seen at least is beating that Nomu during the USJ and definitely beating All for One. But I think most of those feats are city level at best. If we think about this, All for One is pretty equivalent to the power of like Shigaraki, I would say. And Shigaraki can destroy a city just by touching it. And Shigaraki may be the most powerful character. So I don't think All Might's any stronger than city level, to be honest. But his indomitable will is definitely what makes him different. I think he's stronger than Homelander. I think he'd do more than Homelander would, but he doesn't have that kind of killer instinct that like Homelander or Omni-Man have. So I think I'm gonna put All Might in some actual damage. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's about right. I think he's somewhere between Homelander and Omni-Man for sure. So now Ultimos. If you guys remember Ultimos, he is from Ben 10. Ben 10 Classic. The first time we saw him was when 6-6 and Volcanus was after Ben. And we saw Ben join their team. We also saw Vilgax beat him in Alien Force. And then we see him in the Ben 10,000 episode in the original too. So Ultimos' best feats are fighting Volcanus and 6-6, dodging their energy blasts, I think freezing them in molten lava if I remember correctly. But he got his ass beat by Vilgax. His one weakness is also chocolate. That does not help him. Cause to be honest, he could be flying through buildings with Superman and like someone could just be eating a chocolate bar and then bro just splashes into it. I don't know if he has to eat it or not. I don't remember. But that's worse than Kryptonite. If we compare like 6-6 and Volcanus to maybe somebody like Lobo, I mean, that's the comics, but they're definitely not as strong as Lobo. I don't think Ultimos has much for him, even though the Ben 10 universe is definitely stronger than the Invincible universe, the MHA universe, or the Boys. I don't think he does much. Best, he might do some actual damage, but he would be above Homelander. But I don't know if he's going to put him some actual damage. Even though we don't know a lot about him, I think I can comfortably say that, because I think he's above a few good punches. Alright, next is Brightburn. So, his biggest feats are crushing a little girl's hand, throwing a lawnmower on accident, like, maybe like 100 yards. He blew up a plane with his heat vision. He can easily melt people's skulls with his heat vision. He can also run through buildings like they're nothing. Brightburn's power is on scale with Homelander from what we've seen at least, because he only has humans to go up against. A shot in the back of the head with a hunter's rifle, which I don't remember if that like, I mean it definitely didn't like hurt him, but it might have like made him be like, ow. I don't remember. I think that's what happened. He is on the level of Homelander, if not lower. So we're going to put him below Homelander. And Homelander has 100% has better feats because he's killed Supes. We got to put him in a few. I honestly think he's just fucked, to be honest. The only thing is, he might get in a few good punches just because he's sneaky. He is fast. Because I honestly think I think he gets maybe one good punch in and that's it. So I think I'm going to go with he's fucked, to be honest. Alright, Sentry. So, the Sentry in the comics would absolutely destroy David Cornsweet's Superman. Sentry in the MCU might beat Superman in the DCU. I don't know, it might be crazy. So, Sentry in the MCU put up a good fight. Kinda at most, because he doesn't really have control over his powers yet that we've seen, like at all. He just got them. Best, he puts up a good ass fight. But we saw Superman do an armbar, which is way above what Sentry can do combat wise. Sentry from the MCU he's stronger than Nolan from Invincible for sure. But again, he doesn't have that experience at all. At most, it's a good ass fight, but comics wise, Sentry is going to destroy the DCU Superman 100%. I mean, he beat Worldbreaker Hulk. That is ridiculous. Worldbreaker Hulk was literally causing earthquakes just by walking. So, and I mean, Worldbreaker Hulk was like a threat to the entire Earth. Like, everyone was on that shit trying to stop that. Sentry from the comics, destroys might be the word for DCU Superman, to be honest. Alright, next up is Hyperion from the comics, because we don't got an MCU version yet, unfortunately. At least I don't think so. I have not caught up with everything MCU because it got bad for a while. Hyperion is extremely strong. He's another, like, Superman type character. You know, energy blast beams from the eyes. I'm gonna be honest. I am actually a fan of Hyperion, but I don't know a ton about him, unfortunately. When I looked it up, it said his best feat was stopping two colliding universes from colliding. So that's pretty crazy. I do know he's not as strong as Sentry. I'm pretty sure they fought and he has lost, but I think he can hold his own against characters of that level. I think he's even won against characters of that level. So comics version of Hyperion, I think definitely beats DCU Superman. He fucks. Okay, the Crimson Chin. So, I'll be honest, this is where it starts to get a little weird. I don't know these characters as well. Obviously, I remember the Crimson Chin growing up. Funny character, bitten by a radioactive, handsome actor on the chin. So I had to look up his feats. I want you to look at them with me. So, he stopped a rocket mid-flight. That's pretty good. I would almost say that might be above, like, destroying a plane. I think that's definitely above destroying a plane. Lifts a bus into the air, destroys a giant radioactive robot with his chin, destroys giant robot by throwing a boulder, breaks a part of the street off with hitting his chin, uproots a tree and throws it across the city, sends the Broaden's kneecap flying across the city. The Crimson Chin, from what it looks like, might be closer to Homelander's level, which is kind of funny to think about the Crimson Chin versus Homelander. So, also I feel like the Crimson Chin is kind of like dutiful. Like, I feel like from what I remember, he like hops into action like pretty quick. So, I'm gonna say that the Crimson Chin gets a few good punches in against DCU Superman. Oh shit, I forgot about the Utopian. That guy was actually next. From Jupiter Ascending, I think. So it was actually Jupiter's Legacy I was thinking about. So I had to use my sources on this one because I'm not going to watch that movie right now. It's on the list. At some point I will watch it. But apparently he's escaped the void of essentially what is a black hole. He threw a monster all the way into space and destroyed multiple spaceships. Those seem to be his best feats. And that's pretty good, to be honest. From what we know about the DCU Superman, that actually sounds like it might be a good ass fight. He also has telekinesis, which would come in handy. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that might be more than what, like, All Might could do, to be honest. I think we have to put Utopian in a good ass fight. I think below Omni-Man, but I think so. So, Major Glory is from Dexter's Lab. I vaguely remember him. I didn't watch a ton of Dexter's Lab on the list, but from what my sources tell me is he doesn't have very many feats at all. At least not like super impressive. Just like beating kind of minions and stuff like that. Like I think maybe like flying through walls is like his best feat. So I think he's fucked. I think he's the weakest so far. So, I was researching and talking to my sources about Radioactive Man, because that's our next one, from The Simpsons. If you know, you know. My goat. Radioactive Man doesn't seemingly have very good feats, except he has this one where he knocks a comet off its course. That is genuinely pretty good, but all of his other feats are just like lifting up cars, basically. And when he knocked a comet off the course, I guess a part of it came undone, and he punched it into pieces. That's actually pretty good. I don't know if that's moving a comet off its course. I don't know if that's because Brightburn destroyed an airplane with his heat vision. Radioactive Man might be about Brightburn's strength. I think Brightburn could probably do something similar if he can breathe in space. I don't know if he can. That's also a better feat than Crimson Chin. It might be a better feat than Homelander too, to be honest, weirdly enough. Guys, I think I might have to put Radioactive Man in a few good punches above Homelander, to be honest, for that one. Knocking a comet off course is definitely better than flying through buildings and just beating soups. So yeah, I think, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think Radioactive Man gets in a few good punches on our boy. Tell me what you guys think of this list so far, because I'm curious. I don't think it's bad. I think we're low-key cooking. Maybe. I might be delusional. I don't know. Alright guys, so Metro Man, now to get a little nerdy. I watched Megamind when I was pretty young. I don't really remember. I know Metro Man actually kind of has a cult following around him, especially because of how fast he is. Doing some research, DCU Superman versus Metro Man. Metro Man I don't think is even close strength-wise, but his speed, I'm pretty sure it could be perceived as much faster than DCU Superman. DCU Superman, I looked it up, people are kind of saying he's around Mach 235, which That's pretty fast. That's, I think, 235 times the speed of sound, but it's nowhere close to the speed of light. And Metro Man was able to see Megamind's laser move in slow motion, which was powered by the sun, I believe. Assuming that is light, I guess, right? He could see it, maybe even go as fast as it, I'm assuming, because there was a day where he lived out a whole day in slow motion, right? And he was moving at a regular pace. If that thing was moving in slow motion, he could definitely catch up with it, I'd assume. So that would put him above the speed of light, making him way faster than Superman. And honestly, I haven't really been looking into the speeds of these characters as much as that. I think we're still good, but I don't think Metro Man's nearly as strong, but he seems way faster. So it makes me think he's at least in a good-ass fight with Superman. If not, fucks him up just because of the speed. I mean, being able to run circles around him and get in a lot of hits on him, I feel like that makes sense. Like, I don't know. You guys might disagree with me on this. I'm curious. I think he's at least a good-ass fight, and I think if he's a good-ass fight, he's above Omni-Man, to be honest. But I don't know. I don't know if those punches... I feel like he could get off enough punches where it's actually going to really hurt Superman at some point. It might take a lot, though. But he's that much faster. It's from the sounds of it. To be safe, because he's much weaker, I'm going to put him in a good-ass fight above Omni-Man. Okay, there we go. Above Omni-Man? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that one. But last but not least, the Plutonian. Guys, I gotta tell you, this Plutonian guy, this is the guy that they say is Homelander's Homelander, basically. Apparently he is way worse than Homelander. I haven't read these comics before. I've read a little bit of The Boys. But I guess he threw meteor chunks down onto Singapore. He pushed Singapore beneath the ocean, which is kind of crazy. I don't know how big Singapore is, but I'd imagine that's between state and country level strength. He temporarily carried something as dense as a neutron star, but the radiation messed him up, I guess. Punching through a giant robot and disarming a nuke. And his speed, you know, obviously he's fast and stuff like that, but the durability is kind of crazy. Survived hits powered by stars. Unharmed while under the gravitational pull of a black hole stated to be the weight of an entire solar system, star system. Completely unharmed by an explosion that destroyed a volcano. So, he's pretty strong and durable. The fact that he pushed Singapore underneath water is the one that stands out to me the most. Let's see how big Singapore is. I don't know. Singapore. Oh, it is a country in Asia. Or how big? Approximately 736 to so 287 to 287 square miles. Guys, I don't know. I'm an American, so this is how I'm going to figure out how big it is. Oh, shit. How big is Singapore compared to Texas? Okay, Texas is over 900 times larger than Singapore. So Singapore is a small city. Oh, I thought it was... I'm dumb. Okay, so it's like a city. So he is... But pushing... Being able to do that to a city... I don't know how exactly he did it, so hold on. Frickin' dogs are barking. I also hear mice in my closet, so that's cool. Yeah, he sinks Singapore. That's pretty crazy. That's city level for sure. So that means he is stronger than All Might and Ultimos. So that means he's probably gonna put up a decent frickin' fight. That sounds like he's above the Utopian. The Plutonian is above the Utopian. But it sounds like he's probably not as strong as Omni-Man. He sounds more durable than Omni-Man, though. That's the thing. He sounds like quite a bit more durable, to be honest. So it might be harder to mess him up. And he's strong. I think he might be above Omni-Man. Damn, son. Well, guys, that's the list. Sentry and Hyperion, Cook, DCU Superman, but Metro Man, the Plutonian, Omni-Man, and the Utopian put up a good fight against him. All Might and Ultimos do some pretty good damage. Radioactive Man, Homelander, and the Crimson Chin get a few good punches in. And then Brightburn and Major Glory are cooked, for sure. Let me know what you guys think of this. Did you like this video? Leave it in the comments. And I will see you in the next one.